You're going again, Joanna. Are you okay?
Yeah, water.
Just settling back in.
Water.
She dances around the studio whilst we're off air.
No, I wasn't. Just finding my water.
Right. Now, we're going to finish off. I suppose it's a light... No, it's not really a light note, but it's a good positive message to learn from here. People making choices about jobs. And I'm hoping that, if you're listening, that you have been in the position where you've been offered a job, and then you've been looking, and you may have got a second offer, like my mother used to say, buses only, you don't get one, then you get three at once, and you have to make a choice. Should you base the choice on how much each one of these people is offering? Do you send this in?
Yep, this is mine. Yep. 10 reasons not to take the highest job offer you get. And again, sort of slightly anecdotally, they highlight a story where somebody's written into this, somebody working for the Forbes website, and they're saying, I've been finding it really hard to get a job. I've now got an offer, and actually I've now just had another one, and what do? Do I just take the highest offer? What's your advice? And the person giving advice has said, yeah, great that you've got two offers, but you need to think about the other factors that are
beyond
affecting,
the money.
Yeah, beyond the money. So to start with, why would one company want to offer you so very much more than another? Is there something sitting behind their tactic? Is it a really awful place to work, and are you there just to are you part of some sort of glamour parade because they're going to then sell their business, or what factors are influencing them paying you so much higher?
Item number one, actually on the list, I found it now, it says don't take the highest offer you receive if it's significantly higher than you think it should be.
Yeah, well,
that's interesting.
That's it. So it's there must be a reason for that. Why would somebody be so out of kilter with the market? What is it that they're not telling you?
Have you had either of you in a client who has wanted to pay more than you felt the market would normally command for this particular person? Have you counselled them against it, or said, think what you're doing?
I've had a kind of all sort of three possibilities in that one. In that I've gone with it because actually it sets them apart. Right. But we did talk about why they would have such a broad budget, because in the end it helps us with our search. You might get a slightly different level of person and understand why they might go that far. Equally, I've said to them, you know what, you don't need to do that. Don't worry, we can find somebody at this sort of stuff. But also, I've really convinced them to actually they're completely out of kilter, and it can be way less. It doesn't need to be anything that dramatic. So
yeah, you also need, if you've got somebody really good, there's the golden handshake. Now that doesn't necessarily get paid on day one, gets paid after 6 months or whatever. Yeah. So there are different ways of packaging this up. But you see, it's not just about the salary, is it? It's about the company, it's about the whole ethos, the culture, the pension, whatever else is coming with it. But more importantly, and I made a mistake in my career a long time ago because I didn't do my due diligence properly. So I'm coming back with watchwords today, and today's words are due diligence. Yeah. And it's what we talk about quite a lot, which is fit. Is this the right fit for you, for your future career? Have you actually done your own research on yourself? Have you looked internally? Is this the right move for you? Yeah,
and there are quite a few. Out of the 10, there are several that really do come back to, do you like the people? Do you trust them?
Are they your kind of people?
The company, ethical.
Item number 7, say no thanks to a job offer that pays a ton but requires you to rip someone off and lie to your customers.
Exactly. Have you read company reviews? Have you read customer reviews of that company? Depending on the sector that you're in, there can be all these sorts of things that are out there. So, do their ethics and values fit with yours?
Absolutely,
And
well, as you two have said, it's all about really whether you fit.
Yeah. And also, just to go very similar to point number 1, point 9 said, get out of the interview pipeline if they tell you it's a high-paying job, but most people can't hack it, so they wash out. So that's quite an American phrase, but unless you want to put yourself in what they term here as a crushing Lord of the Flies experience, walk away. And I have actually been in a situation where somebody said to me, most people in our business find it really tough, and we have to let a lot of people go because they can't hack it. And I I did interrogate them a little bit as to why that was, but basically, the guy that I was meeting, I just thought that he was not a nice person, and actually, he bullied people, and that's why they couldn't hack it. It wasn't because the job was any harder or onerous. But it was just the fact the way they were managed, and in the end, people leave managers, don't they? And that's why he was losing people, not because it was a tough job.
That's why it's handy to have people like us as intermediaries, because we can actually find out so much more without going through the interview process ourselves, because we're interviewing the potential employer.
Yes.
And we gain an incredible insight into the company and all its nuances.
Yeah. And
it's not always as you walk through the front door that you can gather everything. You have to dig a little.
Yeah. And one of the things I've seen this in the last 5 years since I've been working as Latimer Munro, I haven't had to negotiate a single salary situation. In the world of employment, it happens all the time. Recruiters are involved in it, what have you. But I've been, whether it's fortunate or the type of clients or candidates, I don't know, but I've tried to manage everybody's expectations right from the start. You're talking with clients about being realistic and sensible, talk with candidates about being realistic and sensible. And I don't even put people together if I think there's going to be a clash.
Absolutely.
Because that in itself is a reason not to work together. Although there may be candidates that push a budget to the top, there should never be a moment of angst. I mean, it needs to be, in my opinion, it needs to be the most natural thing in the world. This is the offer. Oh, yeah, of course, that's what I was expecting. Yeah. And the client should expect from me as a recruiter, yeah, of course that they fit with our budget, because that's exactly what we'd expect.
We told you to look for somebody
exactly.
like.
Yeah, because we've done our job properly.
But there are, I should imagine, even in the country as we speak right now, there are situations where recruiters, either internal or external to businesses, are doing that wrong and doing it badly, and trying to play a game with money, and it doesn't need to be like that.
One of the points they make is be careful even over the offer, because it may not really be what it appears to be. On target earnings, you've got to really ask, well, what's the target? There may be huge on target earnings, but nobody ever hits the target to earn it. So
exactly.
Absolutely back to due diligence every time. You've got to make sure you know yourself, you know what you want, to be able to accept what's being offered. And so many people don't.
No. Yeah. I think fundamentally back to, it isn't about the money. Money's a demotivator, but it's not a motivator.
But it's a factor.
It's a factor.
And there are people, especially in the early stages of their careers, who do move around businesses very quickly. And it is for the money. You get that person 10 or 15 years down the line, and they've been doing that, you'll quite often find that they are in a really tough place now.
Right.
For all sorts of reasons, redundancies or situations where they can no longer do those moves, or people don't, or they get made redundant and people don't take them credibly because they had those 5 or 6 jobs all in a very quick succession and things like that. So in the end, if you chase the money, it comes back to bite you. In my experience,
it's interesting
of people.
Because if you're not talking to recruiters, if you're having this conversation and sort of over a dinner table with a bunch of other people, you could be accused of being just a bit naive and a bit nice and woolly and fluffy, that you should be looking for the right job that fulfills you, etc. I've got 2 recruiters in the studio who could be regarded as hard-nosed. It's about getting people into seats and then getting your commission or however you get paid. But you're saying, no, I agree with you. It's actually find the right job that stimulates you, and it's not about the pay.
And our reputations hang not just on the number of people that we put into any one role. It's about the quality of the individual who actually is offered the job and takes the job. Because just because they are offered it doesn't mean to say that, we've had a few of those that will change their minds at the last minute for whatever reason.
Yeah. Right.
And, it's up to us to make sure we do our job as thoroughly as